Alright, guys, here we go in 3, 2, 1. Hey, lovely to have you. Looking good today, thanks. Not so bad yourself. Of course, it's me we're talking about. Oh, yeah, I got it, yeah. So I heard you've been an Android user and now you've been using the Apple ecosystem for a while. Let's talk about that. Oh, yes, of course. So, the Apple ecosystem. Move into it, using it, I realized that there are some amazing things about it. There are these small little things that are so simple, and yet they do so much to just make everything easier. But at the same time, it can also act like a big pit, sucking you into a dependence on Apple. I like that intro. Simple, small, no rock music. We could still have it. Let's go. No, it's my first video here today. None of that happening. Okay. Alright. Yeah. Recently I heard something about how the best sort of technology is the one which integrates into your life so well that you do not even feel that it's there. That is something I felt with the Apple ecosystem. It is so well integrated within all of your Apple devices that you won't even notice that it's there. So when you shift to something that is not Apple, you realize how many functions you're actually missing out on. These functions are very simple, but you just notice instantly when you switch to something else. Interesting. But how does it work? Okay, so all your Apple devices are connected in their functions in such a way that they can complement each other to make all of these functions very easy to perform, and at the same time there is exclusivity where you can easily just use one of these devices to perform any function you would out of another device. I request elaboration. We're gonna need some B-roll for this guy. All right, you got it. Yeah. Okay, so let's start with this. You can transfer calls from your iPhone to other devices like the iPad, your Mac, or even the Apple Watch. If your phone is in another room and you are on your Mac, the phone rings and the call will show up on the Mac. You can pick it up right from there, talk all through the Mac without needing your iPhone. And at the same time, if your phone is away and you want to make a call, you can do that by going to the FaceTime app on the Mac, selecting the person you want to call, and you call them up straight from your Mac without needing the iPhone. All you really need is the iPhone to be switched on and connected to the internet. What about messages? That works too. Any messages you receive on the iPhone, be it an iMessage or an SMS, you will get all of the alerts on the Mac or even on the iPad. You can open the Messages app on the Mac or the iPad, send text to whichever contact you want. What is also interesting is. Yeah. I'm sorry. Restart in 3, 2, 1. What is also interesting is whenever you are online making a transaction and you need a one-time password in order to finalize a transaction, in the ecosystem, whenever you have to enter the OTP will show up as a text on the iMac, and you can simply just tap one option to automatically enter the OTP in the required place. A few of the things that are similar to this are wherever you make an account or log into one using whichever Apple device on your Apple ID, the login information can be saved to that iCloud keychain once the permission is granted. And after that, no matter which device you use, if you have to log in to some app again, you can always autofill that password through keychain. All you will have to do is put in the password for that device or the touch ID or face ID to gain access. If you have a web page open on any of your Apple devices on Safari, you can access the same web page on any of your other Apple devices. And you can also share any file from any Apple device with another Apple device through this feature called AirDrop. Basically, you select a file, you select share, and then you get the option to airdrop it to whichever available device that your iPhone or iMac or iPad can detect at that time. Along with this, one of my favorite features is the copy and paste, where I can copy anything on any device, paste it to some other Apple device. Again, a small little thing, but this can make your life so much easier. Oh, okay. That's enough about iPhones, Macs, and iPads. What about the other devices? Okay, so let's start with the AirPods. If you have any pair of AirPods, be it the standard or the Pro or the Max, if you connect them to one of your devices, they will show up on every other device automatically without you actually having to pair them with any of your other devices. Another thing that the AirPods can do is that if you're using them and with your phone, if you're using them with your phone, you put the phone down and you pick up the iPad and you start playing something on it. The AirPods will switch to the iPad automatically. And if you happen to get a call on your iPhone, the AirPods will automatically switch back to the iPhone for taking the call. But this, of course, this is redundant since you can accept the calls on any device. But if you have not enabled it, because a lot of people do not want three devices ringing at the same time for one call, this auto switching is helpful. Now, if we move the discussion to the Apple Watch, yes, you can make or take calls on it, but it also works really well with the Mac. After enabling the required settings, whenever you have to unlock your Mac, it can automatically unlock without you needing to put in the password if you are wearing your Apple Watch at the time. If you have to make changes to the working of certain apps, grant access to some important administrative settings to an app, you normally have to authorize that by entering your password on the Mac. But if you are wearing the Apple Watch, you will be prompted to double tap the side key on the Apple Watch to authenticate the operation. If you happen to have a cellular Apple Watch, you can just take it along with your AirPods. And basically, throughout the day, you can make all the important calls and send all the important messages without you ever needing your phone for it. There's a lot of things. But throughout your use, you must have felt at some point that there might be a possible disadvantage to all of this. Of course, it did. And there's a big disadvantage to all of this. When you use everything in the Apple ecosystem more and more, your dependence obviously will increase on it. Eventually, your workflow will be entirely based on Apple products and Apple services. Now, the thing is, if you were to change anything in that workflow, any product or any service to something that is not made by Apple, everything that service or product did either would not work at all or would not work well or as easy with other Apple products, harming your workflow. Now, this might just be a very small service, but if it's something, but if it's an entire device like a MacBook, like the MacBook or the iPhone, there, everything that the whole well working ecosystem will vanish. It will not exist anymore. And when it's a device in a workflow, any of the operations it did in a very well integrated way, they would never work the same if it was a different device. Now, the common question is, why would you change any of your products to something else? You will not change it generally, but every product gets refreshed in 1 or 2 years. And if you were in, you might also be needing, an upgrade because your product is slowing down. And you would want to upgrade to the latest version available, right? What if the latest version is bad, does not perform well, or does not have the all important feature because Apple suddenly decided to remove it? You will still have to get it unless you want to change your entire workflow. And that can happen. It has happened before. All of the MacBooks launched in 2016 to 2019 before the 16-inch MacBook Pro were really bad, lacking very important features. iPhones until iPhone XS were becoming boring, mediocre. Now, if something similar happens again, you could change to a different phone or a different laptop. But if you did that, in case of your laptop, you will have to switch to a different cloud backup service. You won't be able to use your Apple exclusive softwares. You will have to shift to some other software and relearn and readjust your workflow to that software. All the integration with your iPhone is now lost. In case of an iPhone, you can't iMessage anymore. You don't have much use of that Apple Watch anymore. Those AirPods don't work right with the Android phone that you have. iCloud is useless to you. FaceTime is gone. Hence, you can't depend on something that works well entirely with one single company's products. If you do, you will sink into a pit. and you would have to adjust to anything that that particular company makes, which could be great, but sometimes could be mediocre. And you won't be able to use something else because of your dependence on that ecosystem around that device. Whoa. Maybe I should be looking over the walls of this walled garden. Yeah. MKBHD gives the best analogies. Yeah. Anyway, your final thoughts. So my final thoughts are this. Apple ecosystem is great. Use the necessary functions it can do, but do not be dependent on it for everything. Leave the potential to, change to something else. That I guess covers it. Do you want to ask for subs and likes? Do you? Alright, I'll do it. No, I'll do it. I just asked you. I'm saying I will do it. I asked you already. You are me. There is no difference here. Yeah, so let. Alright, we are gonna let these idiots fight. Like the video if you liked it, subscribe, resubscribe if you loved it. Share this video with the people who you think this will help. And if you still have any questions left, if this video did not answer all the questions that you have, comment all those questions. I'll make sure I answer each and every question you have. And apart from that, yeah, that's pretty much it. I'll talk to you real soon in the next one.